Ano ai ka ko aloha. Some Hawaiian Slack Key Guitar for you folks. Mahalo nui. That's an original called Na Po'okala, which translates to the setting of the sun. This tradition that I have been honored and blessed to be a part of for most of my life, starting when I was a young boy, is called ki ho'alu. Ki ho'alu means to slack the keys, or literally slack key guitar. And we slack them. So there are many different family tunings passed down through the generations, and some old Spanish tunings which Hawaiians took and turned into some things like taro patch tuning and Mauna Loa tuning and wahine tuning. And so we're going to take you to the island of Hawai'i, where the powerful Mauna Loa has been erupting. And this is a song about a love affair that takes place in a valley called Waipio Valley, where beautiful twin waterfalls pour onto a black sand beach. And if you go Mauka in the valley, you see another twin waterfalls. Just takes your breath away. This is a song called Hi'ilave. Kumakakai kanai lave apalohe maia maukele Kumakakai kanai lave apalohe maia maukele Pakele mai ai kanui manu avala nei puni vai pio Aole no vau e loa amai Aiuhi vai au no te tua hivi E hiva au na kamakua I leia I nā ke kūpuna No puna ke leia mahi Nui ka mai lelea o Hi'ilave Haina ia mai ana kapuana kumakakai kanai Hi'ilave. In Hawaiian song, we often hear the phrase Haina ia mai ana kapuana, and it's often translated as, and so the story is told or tell the refrain. But the great Hawaiian scholar Mary Kawena Pukui translates Haina ia mai ana kapuana as, and so is the echo of my song. Kumakakai kenayau Hi'ilave, all eyes rest upon that beautiful waterfall. Haina. Haina ia mai ana kapuana, kumakakai kenayau Hi'ilave. And the lovely Ka'ula Kamahele of Hawaii Island. So I'd love to share about this art form. This art form, think about how Brazil has the bossa nova, Spain has flamenco, the Delta has the blues. Hawaii has this style of slack key that was created over time in the 1800s. And the story goes back in the time of Kamehameha the Great. He was gifted a cattle, 4 cattle and a bull from Captain Vancouver of England, and he put kapu on these cattle. He made them untouchable. He passed away, his second son passed away, and then his next heir, Kamehameha III, Kauikeaouli. By that time, these cattle had multiplied, so he had a piliki on his hands. He had a problem. He had to deal with all these cattle, and they were going around and stomping on the lo'i, where the Hawaiians would grow taro, which was their staple. They were eating all the grass. Of course, the Hawaiians were building their houses out of grass. They had a building materials problem, much like today. They had all this stuff. They didn't know what to do with these big land mammals. So he enlisted the help of the vaqueros. These vaqueros came from Mexico and from the West Coast, which was part of Mexico. They come and they, of course, not only teach the Hawaiians what we call the art of the paniolo, or the Hawaiian cowboy, but they brought their guitars, or as we call it, the kika. And so late at night, you can imagine them sitting by the campfire. And they had their own tunings, they had their own style. But eventually, the guitar found their way into the hands of the Hawaiians. The vaqueros left, and they said, well, how are we going to make all this sound Maybe there's only one or two guitars on the island. They started using the guitar in a different way. First, by slacking the strings and tuning to a chord. I mean, it's so beautiful. You already feel like you're in Hawaii when you hear that. And then in that chord, they'd play an alternating bass line with the thumb like this. With the fingers, a melody. And then put them together at the same time in this beautiful chord of a tuning. And that's the foundation of this art form, Hawaiian Slack Key. I was very blessed to learn from some of the masters, and I've spent most of my career honoring these masters. And this is such a rare art form that back in the late 60s on the LP liner notes, it was already referred to as a dying art form. And so I'd like to honor and share a little bit, kind of like a little journey through some of the music of these people that shared with me. This first piece is Raymond Kaleo Aloha Poina Ole o Hele Manu Kane of Nanakuli, and this is what we call the Nahe Nahe Old Style. You know, really, this music isn't really concert music. This is very private music for people. The few players that did learn this style, this is a music that was so personal, they wouldn't even sometimes play for their own ohana or family. And so again, it's such an honor to share this art form here with you folks. And this next style, I would be remiss if I didn't show a few of the diverse mastery of my next teacher. I first had learned from Raymond and his protege, Bobby Madero Jr., and then had the honor and privilege of learning at the age of 13 from Sonny Chillingworth, who's considered one of the great legends of the art form. I'm going to play you some of his music right now. And the fun thing about playing slack key is there's a number of different family styles. And because each player is responsible for bass, rhythm, and melody, the styles can really start to vary. So one of the great living legends of this art form, who's been a big inspiration since I was a child, continues to be, and has of course performed here, Ledward Ka'apana. And he comes from the lineage of Uncle Fred Punahoa and the Kalapana and the Lim family, and of course the Ka'apanas. And their style is a little different, and I'd like to play some of that, a song I recently recorded. This is called The Radio Hula. And keep in mind, these songs are well over 100 years old. Mahalo nui, thank you. So this is obviously a folk art. It goes back a long ways. And as I've always said, tradition is a living, breathing entity. And I think part of our kuleana, it's a beautiful Hawaiian idea. Kuleana means not only right, your rights, but your responsibility. And they are kind of like two sides of the same coin. And this kuleana of carrying on a tradition comes with also not only the idea of going into the past and constantly trying to understand what came before us and keep that alive, but also to create new. So I want to share with you something in my own style. This is a song called Koi. That's called Koi, Mahalo Nui, K-O-I. It's kind of warm today. I'd like to share with you a very, very old song and some of the finest poetry, in my opinion, in Hawaii. This was composed by the sixth monarch of the Kingdom of Hawaii, Lunalilo, who came at the end of the Kamehameha line. And you know, for many, 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 many years, probably over a century, this song was sung at luau. This song was a party song. This song was a very happy melody recorded by many artists in Hawaii. And it was just kind of a party classic favorite. But some of us started looking into the older meanings of the song and found something so interesting. And you know, when you think of Hawaiian music, if you think of it at all, you often think of beaches and hotels and a sense of a vacation and this kind of happy all major chord kind of sound. And it almost becomes a caricature. Like, you know, one time my friend asked me, he goes, do Hawaiians ever get sad? Like, how come all their music's so happy? And it was an honest question. But you have to remember that what we call traditional Hawaiian music today didn't actually exist. And if I sang Hi'ilave, which I sang a few minutes ago, in 1790 in Hawaii, people would look at me very strangely. So, as I said, tradition evolves. And so looking into what this song was about, it became very clear that it was not a happy song. In fact, Lunalilo, who was from childhood meant to marry Kamamalu, who he loved, and she loved him, that marriage was prevented largely by the intervention of Alexander Liholiho, who was Kamehameha IV, and for reasons including that their children would have been much higher rank, and also their collective land holdings would have been so massive. Sounds like something out of The Crown. And so these kind of stories get forgotten when we kind of paper over and make caricatures of the poetry. And so what I've been doing is going back into some of these very old songs in the public domain and reanimating them with music that feels more respectful to the mood conveyed in the poetry. And so this is a song that if you know it, you may recognize the lyrics, but the music is totally different. I'd like to call Kaula to the stage to tell this story. This is called Ale Koki.
Anu anu makaheva au, ke kalia nai laila, kai no pau a paa, o manau ia nei. Ua malu nei a kino, o ia koleo, o Mawaho a o mamala Kaina mai ka puana, wahi vai a ole koki.
Ale koki. Kaula. Mahalo, thank you. Different sound, yeah, than what we think of as Hawaiian music. And when you go back before the arrival of the missionaries, there really were no guitars, ukuleles, piano, harpsichords, cellos. Everything was mostly hula, percussive instruments, and oli, chant. But over the years, Hawaiian music has adapted and adopted, I think, some of the most beautiful melodies in the world. I'd like to share an original song. And this song I wrote earlier this year. In Hawaii, sometimes we get a little overwhelmed with tourists. And there can be kind of like a communication breakdown, of what tourists think of Hawaii and what local people in Kanaka Maoli and think of, their perspectives and how we feel. And so this idea of finding a way to communicate the true meaning of aloha inspired me to write this song. It was really the words of one of our kūpuna, our elders. Her name is Pilahi Paki, and she, in the year I was born, 1978, educated the world about aloha. And one of the things she said was to find that balance between thinking and feeling. And so, in honor of her, we reclaim this word, aloha, and I sing this song for you. It's called Aloha Found. You came here searching for sunshine, white sandy beaches for miles, visions of rainbows and flowers, faces wearing gentle smiles. You came here seeking adventure, waterfalls, volcanoes too, perfect waves rolling across the bay, mountains majestic in view. Here in the heart of Hawaii, there's something more to divine. If you stop looking and listen, it is aloha you'll find. Huli kalima ilalo. Come turn your hands toward the earth. Let's work together in growing food. Open your soul to rebirth. Feel the vai run through your fingers. Vai is water. Feel the mud all in your toes. Laughter and tenderness springing forth. Aloha beginning to flow. Here in the heart of Hawaii, come let your spirit unwind. Balance your thinking and feeling in this aloha you'll find. Aloha is pure love, love for this land
hands on each other. Breathtaking sunsets are calling. Romance is warm in the air. New friendships blossom between us. Aloha is to be shared here in the hearts of Hawaii. Your heart is starting to pound, feeling the land and each other. Is this aloha you found? Deep in the hearts of Hawaii, life-giving waters abound. When you feel your heart burst open, it is aloha you found. When you feel love for another, it is aloha you found. Aloha found. Mahalo nui, thank you. It's kind of cool for me to be here because I share a birthday with JFK. And not quite to the age where you like try to ignore that it's your birthday, but I'm getting there. When I think of my birthday, I do think of my parents. And, you know, they both passed away in the past 3 years. My mom at the beginning of the pandemic and my dad earlier this year. And I know that they're watching right now. And I just want to say my music is vast. What I'm sharing with you tonight, out of honor and respect, I really, really wanted to share such deep culture because I know so many of you in the audience, many of my friends here, and I hope to meet some new friends tonight. It's so rare to have Hawaiian music out this far. And for those of you curious, I wanted to share that education. But I do want to communicate that there's so many sides to my music, and one of them is this theme of death and grieving and helping people through death. And I create a lot of material around that. But tonight, just because, and also because I watch a lot of those Kennedy Center honors shows where like superstars like play each other's music. And so I'm gonna do a cover. This is a James Taylor, you're all familiar with. But it's a song about grieving for me. I know he had his own reasons for writing it. But this is one of my dad's favorite songs, like dedicated to him. It's a song for Pops. Yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to. Walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. Just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. But I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. Just got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. Well, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. But I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Been walking my mind to an easy time, a back turned toward the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, turn your head around. Those hours of time on the telephone line, talk about things that come. Sweet dreams and flying machines and pieces on the ground. Well, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. But I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you. One more time again. But I'd seen you one more time again. There's just a few things going my way this time around. Thought I'd see you, thought I'd see you. Fire and a rain. For Dad. Thank you. Earlier this year, I had this incredible experience of being invited to go volunteer on the island of Kaho'olawe. How many folks have heard of this island, Kaho'olawe? Kaho'olawe is one of the main 8 Hawaiian islands, and for many, many years, following World War II, it was occupied by the U.S. Navy, and it was used for target practice and bombing. And thanks to the great courage and sacrifice of a number of Hawaiians in the early 1990s, the bombing was stopped and the island was returned for now to the state of Hawaii, hopefully eventually the kingdom of Hawaii. And so this place is very dangerous to walk around. There's a lot of unexploded ordinances. And I want to share this one thought with you, if you can use your imagination. If you're familiar with Hawaii, you know that Maui County includes Lanai, Molokai, Maui, Kaho'olawe. And so you're standing on Kaho'olawe, which is a rare occasion, and looking back at Maui, and you see Lanai, and you see these islands in this Maui Nui. We call it Nui, means big or great. And I look down at my feet, and it's all red dirt and dust, and we have to wear like coverings because you're just breathing dust. The wind is whipping, and it's incredible because at some point this cloud starts to form on Haleakala, which is the high peak on Maui, and it comes across. It comes across like a bridge. They call it a cloud bridge, and it brings rain over the Kaho'olawe. It's incredible. So I'm standing there watching this miracle, and I'm seeing how gorgeous Maui is in green, and I'm seeing the other islands. And then I look down at my feet, and I see like old kind of bombs sticking out, half uncovered, and big shells and bullets and things, and just red dirt. And for me, it became this allegory for our world. It's like, wow, look how fast we can destroy something. Look how fast this incredible island in a few generations. And look how close it is to paradise. And it was almost like being at a crossroad. It's like we have this crossroad that we're standing at right now together. And so I want to honor one of those Hawaiians that went there and gave his life to protect Kaho'olawe, George Jarrett Helm of Molokai. And Uncle George was an incredible singer and Hawaiian musician. And he recorded this song. This is another Big Island song. And, you know, it's a simple song written by the incredible composer Helen Deshay Beamer that just honors this guy, Jim. It's called Jim's Hula. But in Hawaiian, we call him Kimo. Timo Henderson Hula with the lovely former Miss Aloha Hula Ka'ula Kamahele. Well, thanks so much for coming down. To all of you watching online, mahalo nui for tuning in. Please share this with all your friends and family. I'm so glad you folks are here. Love to meet you after the show. And I guess I have time for one more song. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. So the moment I saw this guitar, I was in love. Of course, because it's kind of the same guitar that I have. I'd like to thank my friend Mark, who brought this guitar and loaned it to me for the show. Thank you so much, Mark. And you've kept it in such beautiful condition. I'm trying not to scratch it up. If you know me, I put holes in guitars. That's what I do. Sorry about that. But the moment I saw this, I kept thinking of this song. This was really the first slack key song I wrote out of the Hawaiian vein when I was a kid. And I remember sitting on the couch for 17 hours a day to play. I didn't want to do anything else. I would get up, surf at like 4:30 in the morning, be out by 6, and sit on the couch all day and play guitar. And so I leave you with this song, a bit of a Celtic bluegrass feel. This is something called Flood. Mahalo nui, thank you so much for being here tonight. Aloha.
Thank you for joining us at Millennium Stage. For more information about upcoming shows, please check out the Kennedy Center website or Facebook page. As we prepare for our next show, we ask that you make your way to the back of the seating area. Makana will be in the back of the house with merchandise and to greet fans. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening at the Kennedy Center.